Welcome back to part 5, and as we leave the tomb of Captain John Hunter behind, sacred to, and you can only just see that top bit, the rest of it is so worn away. There's a few letters at the bottom, but very, very worn. See, it's where it bows out. It's been more exposed. Mr. William Smart, Family Vault, sacred to the memory of Mary, wife of Mr. Thomas Smart, who died 29th of November 1849, aged 66 years. Also, the above named Mr. Thomas Smart, who died the 26th of July 1858, aged 73 years. And now, for more of our slave traders and plantation owners, you notice that these ones aren't marked, aren't they? This one, here are interred the remains of Joseph Ferdinand, Count de Taff, or Tafe, and it's got obit the 10th of October, and then it's MDDC, you know, in the Latin. But luckily, I've translated this one. As I said, I put a fair bit of research into this. You've got Joseph Ferdinand, Count de Taff. He died on the 12th of October 1845, aged 53 years, and was buried on the 23rd of October 1845. Now, here you have Anna Maria, Countess de Taff, widow of Joseph Ferdinand, Count de Taff, and I've got notes for her as well because that's also in Latin. She, bear with me, Anima on the 8th of died on the 8th of October 1846, aged 37 years, and was buried on the 23rd of October. So she's there. Now, her parents are the real slave owning ones that I've done some research into. Now, I had to rely on a description from the Monumental Inscriptions book to get bits of this inscription and translation of the Latin dates. But you've got her parents, who is Philip Monux Lucas Esquire. He died on the 27th of November 1830, aged 52. That's him at the top there. Then just below him you've got Mrs. Sarah Lucas. That's his wife. And she died on the 26th of October 1849, aged 72 years. Just below them is their daughter, who I've already mentioned, the Countess de Taff. Then below her are the Countess de Taff's brothers, these people at the top's children. You've got Joseph, sorry, beg your pardon. You have got James, there he is. James Lucas Esquire. And he died on the 19th of April 1874, aged 60. And then just above Anna, you've got also the issue of the above, which is those two there, the slave traders. And you've got Philip Monux Lucas, and he died on the 27th of November 1830, aged 52. Now, the Count de Taff, or Tafe, as it may be, at the end of this video you'll see an image of his last will and testament. And Philippe Monux Lucas Esquire, you will see an image of him at the end of the video. Well, that was utterly distasteful, wasn't it? It's a bad taste in people's eyes. Thomas Davison Esquire died July the 11th, 1839, aged 81 years. Dorothy Davison, widow of the above, died March the 13th or 15th, 1841, aged 79 years. Then you've got Elizabeth something, surname's gone I'm afraid, Elizabeth, unless it's a middle name, Elizabeth something, daughter of the above, died June the 3rd, 1862, aged, and I think that's 55 years, but it's very, very warm. Same as these, look, you can see where the weather's beaten down on the sides of them and just worn the inscriptions away. This one's sacred to the memory of Christopher Alderson of Homerton, Esquire, who died the 23rd of December 1810, aged 82 years. See, this is what I mean, quite a few of these people are fairly long lived. In a vault deposited the remains of Fanny Alderson, the wife of Christopher Alderson, Alderson Esquire, of Ashford Lodge, Hants and Homerton in this parish, who departed this life the 27th day of February 1828 in the 36th year of her age. Also the above named Christopher Alderson, Alderson Esquire, who departed this life on the 13th day of December 18, I think that's 45, no, it's 55, in the 53rd year of his age. Also Emily Alderson, daughter of the above, who died 10th of April 1840, aged 13 years. And I'm afraid the inscription at the bottom's completely gone. This one here, moss covered though it is very, very detailed, which I quite like. And it's David Cannan, C-A-N-N-A-N, born the 26th of October 1775, died the 24th of September 1841 or 11. That's 1811, I think, in the 66th year of his age. 1775, 85, 95, 1805, 1815. No, it must be 1841. In the 66th year of his age. He's born 26th of February 1770. That's 3 or 5. Looks like 5 though. And died the 24th of October. It does look like 1811 or 1841. It's hard to tell. It's a bit warm. They don't normally give birthdays of that earlier time. That's what I liked about the detail on that one. And I'll take us back out of this gate, because there are more to cover. As we leave Harry Sedgwicks tree-lined avenues behind, slave traders, colonialists and everyone in between. The Lodges family, the Reverend James Cretan. Reverend Cretan's grave, I should have mentioned it but forgot. I've had so many notes on that. If you see here, look, it's been repaired. That is because a van accidentally backed into it and broke it in half. And they repaired it well enough. Done a nice job. And we're going down this way. Our next graves, one of which does have an information board and picture. That's where we've just come from. That old Jamaican man on a mobility scooter with music going and smoking weed, that's just made me chuckle. Many a good tune played on an old fiddle, as this saying goes. Here's the one with the information board, which I'll cover first, although we're going past the one I'll cover next. The tomb of the Watson family, John James Watson. Now, if you watch the Hackney New St John's church tour video, you'll see a fine memorial to him inside the church as well. John James Watson, vicar and rector of Hackney from 1799 to 1839, and his brother Joshua Watson, education and church reformer, are buried here together with their wives, children and parents. Their father was a wine merchant. The new St John at Hackney Church had only been in use for 2 years when John James Watson was appointed vicar. In the next 40 years he enthusiastically led the expansion of the parish church initiatives to help local people, such as education for the poor. With his brother Joshua and their brother-in-law Henry Handley Norris, they formed an informal group known as the Hackney Phalanx. The group had ideas on the role of the Church of England and were a highly influential party due to Norris's friendship and influence with the Tory Prime Minister Lord Liverpool, ensuring their initiatives were widely adopted, not just locally. Here is the man himself, John James Watson, rector of Hackney, about 1830, copied from St John-at-Hackney by David Mander, parish of Hackney, published 1993. And here is the tomb of his parents. Within this vault is deposited, in the humble hope of a blessed resurrection through the merits and mercies of their Redeemer, all that is mortal of John Watson of Homerton, Esquire, who departed this life the 15th of August 1821, aged 85 years, and Dorothy, his wife, who departed this life the 11th of December 1812, aged 80 years. The revered parents of the Reverend John James Watson, D.D. Archdeacon of St Albans, and many years incumbent of this parish, and Joshua Watson, LLD, of Clapton, Esquire. Here also rests, in the like hope, the mortal remains of those members of their respective families whose names are inscribed on the tablets of this tomb, on other tablets of this tomb, which you can see are very, very worn away and have not been restored, like this one. So we only get really the Reverend John James Watson. And now we go back on ourselves, but only to one grave, so it's not a terrifically long journey. We're not travelling across deserts and over mountains and through forests and stuff, so this isn't too bad. To the memory of Margaretta, this is interesting, this story, Margaretta Beaufoy, the only child of Benjamin and Sarah Beaufoy of Homerton, and wife to Colonel Beaufoy of Hackney. Now, her name is Beaufoy and her husband's name is also Beaufoy, please bear that in mind, of Hackney Wick, who died the 26th of August the 26th, 1800, leaving her father and husband and 7 children to lament her loss. Now, Sarah Beaufoy and Colonel Mark Beaufoy, they were first cousins. They ran away and got married and spent a good long sojourn in Switzerland. Then they came back here to England. Much more on Colonel Beaufoy will follow at the end of this video. He was a very interesting man. So yeah, the archetypical kissing cousins. Here also I deposited the body of Benjamin Beaufoy, Esquire, of this parish. That's Sarah Beaufoy's father, who we've just seen, who died on the 8th of June 1809, aged 84 years. So yeah. And there you have the family coat of arms on the end of the tomb. As I say, although he's not buried here, Colonel Mark Beaufoy, very interesting man, so some more will follow on him. He was one of the very first people to ever be into mountaineering, and Sarah took some of their children to watch him climb a mountain. So more of that at the end of the video. See, I told you there's some interesting people buried in this one, isn't there? You can get in there, I think. Yeah. Excellent. I'm going to go and check the back then and see if there's anyone else on the back bit of the Beaufoy tomb, because I didn't get the back bit of that one. Ouch! Vicious swine! Ah, this allows me access to see this one. Yes! More inscriptions on both of the tombs. This is the Watson family tomb. Joshua Barston, son of Joshua Watson and Mary his wife, born April the 14th, 1799, died 7th of February 1802. John, son of Joshua Watson and Mary his wife, born the 14th of August 1802, died the 20th of August 1802. Susanna, daughter of Archdeacon Watson and Caroline his wife, born the 9th of December 1805, died 13th of May 1806. James Baden, son of Archdeacon Watson and Caroline his wife, born 16th of November 1809, died 14th of February 1810. Mary Ann, daughter of Archdeacon Watson and Caroline his wife, born July the 18th 1815, died July the 19th 1815. And Susanna Letitia, daughter of the Archdeacon Watson and Caroline his wife, born 9th of November 1806, died 14th of September 1824. And there is someone mentioned, Mary, wife of Joshua Watson, Esquire, died July the 13th, 1831 or 4, aged 58 years. Joshua Watson, Esquire, LLD, died July the 30th, 1855, I think that is, aged 82 years. And this, the Beaufoy tomb, with the kissing cousins of Sarah Beaufoy and Colonel Mark Beaufoy, we get a much better thing of their tomb. I may do some separate highlight videos on one or two of these tombs. Likewise are deposited in the vault beneath the remains of Margaretta, the second wife of Henry Stone of 68 Lombard Street, banker, Esquire, and the second daughter of Colonel and Margaretta de Beaufoy, who died the 5th of May 1840, aged 52 years, leaving her husband, sons and daughter to lament her loss. So, we managed to get in there, that was interesting. Got some more names. And it's this one last. You have Thomas Oliver Goodchild, M.A. Oxon, which is Master of Arts, Oxon. 38 years rector of this parish, born the 8th of September 1800, died 5th of September 1877. And Ellen, his wife, born 19th of March 1805, died 25th of June 1890. This is one of the ones that would have had iron railings and fittings on. Now gone. Oh, it's upside down. Perring, P-E-R-R-I-N-G, Thomas Goodchild, 27th September 1849, aged 12 years. Sarah, widow of Thomas Goodchild, Esquire, 31st of July 1855, aged 71 years. Well, that's weird, isn't it? You would have thought they'd put the... Oh, anyone with OCD, that's going to bug the life out of them, like me. See, this inscription's like that. That should be... Go around that side and read it from downwards like that. That's how I would have done it. Clearly the stonemason who created this did not have obsessive compulsive disorder. Right, so that's that one. And you will now join me over there for our final part. And for our historical look back in this one, and historical look into, it's the de Tafe and Lucas family, and another family of slave traders. Deeply ingrained in the West Indian slave trade, this lot. But first we begin with Joseph Ferdinand, Count de Tafe. He was born in 1791 in Austria. He was a knight of the Sovereign Order of St John of Jerusalem, and a member for the states of Moravia and Bohemia, and nephew and cousin to two separate Viscounts de Tafe of the Peerage of Ireland. He married Anna Maria Lucas on the 15th of February 1842 at the French Catholic Chapel in London, and later on the same day in a Church of England ceremony at St Marylebone Parish Church, which we see here. So a mixed family of French Catholics and Protestants. He died on the 12th of October 1845, aged 53 years, and was buried on the 23rd of October 1845, and the parish register registers his address as Highgate. This is his last will and testament, and I will pause for around 20 seconds on each page. So pause the video if you're into your history and you want to have a good read through this. If not, just carry on watching. and his wife, Anna Maria Lucas, Countess de Taiffe. She was born in 1809 in Ireland. And we've been lucky with this one because we've got a family tree for them. Here you see Anna Maria and Joseph Ferdinand Count de Taiffe marked with the blue arrow. Her parents are above. Anna and her own mother would both die at this address. Anna died here on the 8th of October 1846, aged 37, and the address is Navarino Terrace, North Hackney, now Navarino Road. And interestingly enough, she was buried exactly 1 year to the day as her late husband, she being buried on the 23rd of October 1846, and he having been buried on the 23rd of October 1845. And it's through Anna's parents that the St Vincent and West Indian slave trading links really come in. Here you see Hannah's father, Philip Manix Lucas, born in 1778 in Lancashire, or Lancaster. There are two separate references to that online, so I'm not quite sure where. And he died on the 27th of November 1830 of St Marylebone Parish, Middlesex, and was buried on the 4th of December 1830 at Hackney St John's. Here he and his wife, Philip Manix Lucas, and Sarah Beasley, 1781. She was also, like her daughter, born in Ireland, and she died after her daughter, so she outlived her daughter, on the 24th of the 10th, 1849. And here is Philip Manix Lucas, Esquire. And a bit of a biography on him. Philip Manix Lucas, 1778 to 1830. Partner in Chauncey Lang and Lucas, and husband of Sarah Lucas, who was a trustee under his will and was awarded compensation for the enslaved people on several estates in British Guiana and St Vincent. Active in the West Indies from circa 1802 to 1810, and acted as a resident agent or factor in the slave trade in St Vincent. He is recorded of Nottingham Place in the county of Middlesex, merchant. Yeah, don't record what he's a merchant in, do they? In 1827, in a settlement of annuities. And this is what he was involved in. This is the slave trade, St Vincent, early 19th century. And this is what these people earned their money from. He died on the 27th of November 1830, aged 52, and was buried on the 4th of December 1830, Hackney St John's. His will, the will of Philip Manix Lucas of Nottingham Place, Marylebone, which was proved on the 7th of January 1831. In his will he names his children as Anna Maria, who of course we've discussed who became the Countess de Taiffe, Harriet Fraser, Emma, James and George. He instructed his trustees to sell his estates in the Caribbean and set aside £50,000 of the expected proceeds to support an annuity of £600 per annum to his wife Sarah, with the remainder settled in fifth shares on each of his children, subject, in each case, to provisions. Now, anyone that watched my Peeps series will remember my mention that people then, and some still now, cannot resist the urge to control their loved ones through their wills, and so it was the case with this man. And this is where he died, in November 1830, aged 52, Nottingham Place, Marylebone. They're fancy apartments and flats now, but each one of these would have been a fancy house of its own with the servants' quarters below and above, so it's a big house. And his daughter, Anna Maria Lucas, this is from the Hackney Society, 1809 to 1846, Countess de Taaffe, not in our books, is also buried at Hackney St John and was heavily compensated for the many slaves she inherited under the Emancipation Act. 45% of these compensated were women, mostly who inherited slave plantations. I mean, she inherited from her father and her husband. It's a nasty, ugly business, that one, isn't it? And interestingly enough, rich though they were, Anna's parents both died of consumption, and Anna herself also died of consumption. What the Count de Taaffe died of, I've not been able to find out. Possibly consumption as well, but And we move on from those to the more savoury. The Watson family. You'll remember the Watson brothers of John James and Joshua Watson and the Hackney Phalanx. We spoke about quite a bit of them and from this notice board, which you can pause to read if you want. But we did speak about that. But a little bit of information on John James Watson here, 1767 to 1839. As an English clergyman, he became prominent in the High Church and a group known as the Hackney Phalanx. He became Archdeacon of St Albans in 1816, and the image that we see here at the bottom is an 1834 engraving by Charles Turner after Edmund Thomas Paris, and here is the full-size version of it. And each of the brothers has a memorial inside the church as well. This is John James Watson's one. And to his brother, Joshua Watson, 1771 to 1855, was an English wine merchant. He followed in his father's footsteps with that. Philanthropist and prominent member of the High Church, and a party of several charitable organisations who became known as the best layman in England. Joshua Watson from the frontispiece of Churton's Memoirs. And here is the full-sized image. And here is Joshua's memorial inside the church. And that, ladies and gents, concludes this tour. Hope you all enjoyed, and we will focus on Colonel Beaufoy in the next tour. Didn't have time to cover him enough in this one, so you'll get him in that one.